Welcome to the Business Growth Spotlight, where we shine a light and talk with business leaders from all over the world who are here sharing their expertise and wisdom so we can all grow together. I'm your host, Heidi Schalk, co-founder of HLH Solutions, where we help businesses with their visibility, strategy, and turn that into revenue. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. We're excited to have you here with us today. You're in for a real treat with my special guest. I've actually had the pleasure of meeting her last year, so I was so excited when I saw that she said yes to joining us here today. So without further ado, welcome Lori Palm with Core Passion to the podcast. Welcome, Lori.
Hi, Heidi. Thank you so much for inviting me. And yes, we just discovered that we did talk last year. And so I'm excited to be chatting again today.
Thank you. And I'm excited to dive into what's been going on with you since we spoke last year. So Lori, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, about Core Passion and your role within the company?
Okay, I'm the founder and the CEO of Core Passion. I'm an entrepreneur. I've always had businesses throughout my life from the time I was little, having a shoe shine, but always been an entrepreneur. And one of my gifts is seeing the unseen business opportunities that are out there. And so I founded Core Passion over 20 years ago. Well, more like 30 years ago. And that journey has been very, what shall I say? It's been in the flow, and it's moved from it started out as a Plum Productions, which was I had a speakers bureau, and I booked speakers and consultants all over. And what I discovered is that my gift of seeing and always asking the question, what are the unique words of wisdom that you have to offer to the world that no one else has in exactly the way that you do? And of course, that's what you market. But when you're booking speakers and consultants, it's also putting the right person with the right company or the right conference. And if you have 10 people doing customer service, what makes them each one unique, and what's the right fit? And that was what I did. And as I did that, but I didn't charge extra for that. I just made money by booking them. But when I discovered that I was really good at finding that and looking for the uniqueness of people, I called myself a modern day muse. And people would say to me, well, you can't say that in business. And I said, yes, I can actually. I do, and it works because it's what I do. And once I figured out that was what I could do, I created a whole business around that. And that's Core Passion, identifying what drives people to do what they do and how does that make them unique. And so that's how Core Passion started. And then once we developed the assessment, when you can actually measure passion, and nobody has measured it yet, back in 2003, we developed that. And so when you put a graph and numbers to something, that's another reason I can take it into business, because it's measurable.
Right. Yeah, measurable.
Yeah. And so that's been the journey of helping people. And now we help teams, we help leaders. It's all about the people. And as we move into this whole world of AI, it's even more important that the human aspect is there. And that's a big piece of what we work with. And communication, it's how do people talk to each other and communicate? If you're on a team, how can you bring things together and actually hear what each other is saying? And so we've developed several new tools that work with that as well. So that's Core Passion. And I've been doing it for a long time. And of course, it's evolved, and as everything does. And so that's where we are today.
Well, thank you for sharing all of that, your background. And we will get into the evolution, because with 20 plus years experience, I'm sure you've gone through the ups and downs and seen a lot in that evolution over those years. So with Core Passion, you define it as the energy that drives performance. So Lori, what does that actually mean? And why do so many leaders overlook energy as a business performance factor?
Well, energy is what we all have. Everything is energy. And so when you can actually measure it, now with the assessment, we measure it with language, with words. And so people are, it's not me telling you who you are, it's you through the assessment. But when I'm working with people, especially in person, which, we're starting to work in person again now for ever since COVID, we were on Zoom, but I actually use a process to measure energy to show people that the energy we give off is there, even when you can't see it. And so I bring divining rods. Do you know what divining rods
I
are?
do not. Please share.
Oh, I don't have any here with me in my studio. People use them to find water, to find electricity, but it also measures people. It's a rod that goes up like this and comes out. You have two of them and you hold them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Okay.
can work for that. And so I show people that even when they don't say anything, they are giving off an energy.
Mm.
And people pick up on that energy. I mean, don't you? You can walk into a room and it's like, ooh,
Yeah.
something's here. It doesn't feel good, or it feels really good. Don't know what it is, but we're feeling it. And that's where I show people, even if you don't say anything, people are feeling your energy. So when you measure that energy, and that's the big thing that we did with the core passion assessment, was put words to that. And so it, again, with the graph and numbers, and it shows you what drives you, what are the energies. We identified 12 core passion codes. And of course, we have all 12, but the top 5 totally drive us. And when people see that and they read it and they're like, oh my gosh, that is so me. And we look at what are your greatest gifts? And your greatest gift is also your greatest challenge.
Mm.
And so how do you come back to balance? Because that's when you're in the flow, when things feel good and when everything is working. How do you have words for that, a language for that, and put that into practice? And so when you're in the flow, as I call it, or in balance, you might say, your performance is definitely going to go up and you're going to feel better. And so we work with that with people to show them that the energy is driving everything. And once people get that, even when you can't see it, it's still driving you.
So you mentioned the assessment a couple times. So can you tell us exactly what it is and who it's for? So for those listening, going, oh, I still want to learn more about that. And would it be right for me?
Yes, the assessment was developed back in 2003. Like I said, I when I was before I had the assessment, when I was working for people, with people looking for those unique words of wisdom, who are you? And of course, that's part of what you market. And I could do it. I would talk to people for a long time and we'd figure it out. Well, with the assessment, it's 240 statements that you rank 1 through 7, and you come out with this graph and numbers. And it really identifies what drives you, what are your greatest, what I call gifts, and also what are your greatest challenges, because your greatest gift, the thing that makes you so good, when it's out of balance, you're in the challenge of it. And once people understand the connection between those two things, then you can do something about it. I mean, if you think about your life, the same things have happened over and over and over throughout your life. And it's like, and then especially if you're in what I call the challenge, which is not good or bad or right or wrong, it's overbalanced or underbalanced energy. And when you start to look at that, when you see, I'm in this challenge again, how did I get here again? I thought I've fixed that. But when you start to understand it, then you can do something about it again to get back to balance. And so people really, the assessment is for everybody who wants to take it. I've worked with people from all over the world and have it's not about age, it's not about culture, it's not about gender, it's people. So it's and we are developing a new app called Career Seeker. Really helps you understand what kind of a career. So the younger people who are looking, what do I want to do? What's a good career for me? And we've developed a whole app which should be coming out in the next month or so. around that. So the uses of this are multiple uses. You know who loves the core passion assessment? Engineers and tech people,
Is that because they're
programmers.
so analytical? Like they're more.
Yeah, and they're not good communicators. So for them to say, to see why, because this is your why. This helps you understand why you do what you do. And when they can see that, then they can, work on those skills. And that's what we help people with, especially with teams and stuff. But they understand now why they do what they do and what are their greatest gifts, and when they're out of balance, what becomes their greatest challenge. And when you can put words to that, it really helps the communication.
Yeah, I can imagine there's many
Oh
aha
yeah.
moments when people take this. And so what I'm hearing from you is anyone that's ever felt, why does this keep happening to me? You need to take the assessment, which who hasn't that happened to, right? Who of us, if you've never said that to yourself, I want to meet you.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Reach out to me. I want to meet you and talk to you. So, Lori, how can leaders tell the difference between a team that's simply productive versus a team that's truly energized and aligned?
Shows in the bottom line, shows in the ROI, it
Mm.
shows in the productivity, it shows when you walk into the room, what does it feel like? Now, of course, it's different now because, we're not all in an office together, although that seems to be happening more now. So it's, again, being sensitive and noticing what's the energy in the room. Because if it's not working, and it doesn't feel good, then there's something going on with the team. And how can you fix that, fix it, teach them new skills, or find out what's going on as a leader? If you can sense it. And if you can't, then you're not really probably being a good leader of tuning into your people I'm talking about.
Right. So, what are some of the ways that leaders, or biggest ways that leaders unintentionally drain the energy of their teams?
I think by not understanding each of the people on their team. Years ago, we worked with a manufacturing company, and we started at the top and then went through the middle, manage top leaders, management, workers, and then even down to the janitors. Everybody took the assessment. And the reason they did that was because, and this was over the course of like 2 years, they wanted to change their culture. They
Mm.
knew that their culture wasn't what they wanted. And so as we worked with these different, uh, strata of management, and eventually everybody got to see who everybody was. And we have what we call a team report. Back then we did it by hand. Now it's all, of course, online. And we create a really pretty report to see, okay, who's in my team? Who are the leaders? But back then we had the management, the managers, they would have these big sheets that we had everybody draw in what their top codes were. They would be hung in their room so they could look at it and say, if there's a problem, okay, what's going on? And it changes the communication. Instead of saying, what did you do wrong?
Mhm.
Say, is your research, that seems to be a big one, a little out of balance? Like you are getting stuck in the weeds and you're not seeing the big picture. The whole conversation changes. So when a leader can talk about it from that way instead of pointing fingers and just saying, well, you're not doing a good job,
Mm.
it changes the culture and it changes the energy of the team.
So you mentioned communication, and I'm going to ask this, and you may have somewhat answered it already, but communication is such a major factor and challenge inside of organizations right now and really always. What do the best leaders in teams do differently when it comes to communication?
They
They
talk
take the
about it.
assessment.
Yeah. I think it's the how do they talk about it? Because in one of our another new tool that is that we've developed, and I'm testing it right now with some companies, is called code talking. So I said there were 12 codes. How does each code talk to each other? Because we think that everybody thinks like we do. When we see something, they think that it's this, that they're thinking the same thoughts, and they're not. And so well, partnership is one of the codes. Partnership is always wanting to be the diplomat and smooth things over. And so, but if the partnership is talking to somebody who's high in power, that would be the CEO. Or how do they need to be, and how do they need to say it? And like partnership, if partnership is talking to power, they need to be precise, not, I guess, quick, but not do a lot of, oh, how are you? How was your night last night? Somebody who's high, has high in power, they don't care. They don't want to talk about that. They want to get to the point, give me the stats, give me the evidence. And so, but somebody who's high in partnership, who wants to have a conversation, they're going like this. They can be saying all the words, and each other is not hearing what they're saying and not understanding it, because they're coming from a different place. But when you understand what they're coming from, and then how do you need to talk to them? And that's what our new app is all about, which is the teams that I have worked with it now, because like I said, it's pretty new, are loving it, because it's helping them see, oh, that's why every time I talk to them, they're like not getting what I'm trying to say. If I can say it in a different way and have my energy be in a different way, and that's not that you're not being authentic, you are communicating to who you want to hear you.
Yeah. You're opening that pathway to better communication by seeing it from their perspective, and understanding more about how they are and how they receive information. And it's nice for us to come together in that way, because then everything's going to land better. And the teams, I'm guessing the teams and the companies will be more productive and more efficient and more effective. So I'm excited for your apps coming out, and I want to find out a little bit more about those. But what practical changes can leaders make immediately to create stronger trust and communication across their teams?
I think start listening to what people are actually saying, and creating a space so they can say it. You know, if they're sitting, let's just say they're sitting around a table, is the communication, is it expected that you don't say anything, or is it expected that you do get a voice at the table? And so I think leaders who will create a space where everyone has a voice at the table, or at the, wherever they are, that's a huge piece to starting the conversation.
So going back to what you learned in your childhood, put on your listening ears, right?
Yes.
Remember
Yes.
that? Yeah. So let's talk AI, Lori. As AI becomes more integrated into business, we're seeing huge transformations and changes and evolution in just the past year. And it seems every week or every month it's going faster and faster. How do you think leaders should think about the balance between AI efficiency and human energy?
Really good question. And I think that, yeah, most of the podcasts that I'm being invited as a guest, that's what they want to talk about, is how do you keep the human in there? And what I'm seeing, what I think is that, first of all, the person, you have to be authentic, know who you are, because with AI, you can make you be and look like anything. That's not real. And so what's real and what's not real? And I think that companies that are using AI for the efficiency of tasks is amazing. I'm seeing, you can tell, like, you get something, and did AI write it or did the person write it? And we use AI. In fact, we are creating our own AI through our new platform, it's called AI Seeker AI. And it's using all of our materials and words, and that will be and it's going to save us a ton of time, but it's our stuff. and
Right.
it's not stuff, that is not us. And so I think that for people to stay authentic, but then so it becomes a partnership with AI. How do you partner with AI instead of letting AI take over? And I was talking to somebody yesterday and they said, oh yeah, and you said it too, every couple of months, the whole thing has changed. And so to keep up with what's going on, but still stay centered and balanced within yourself, I think is going to be absolutely essential.
Yeah, and keeping those that adage, your network is your net worth, isn't ever going to go anywhere, because even with the evolution of AI, relationships matter. If not now more than ever, probably, because before you could do whole, everybody was doing the hustle culture online, posting more, getting more content out there, videoing this, videoing that. And now with the evolution of AI, you don't know if you're talking to a clone, if that clone is actually doing the content out there, or if it's the actual person. So the trust factor has diminished. And which means that if you're not out there doing it face to face or having conversations like you and I are having, it's going to be more challenging for businesses to create and gain new clients and customers, because they might take a little longer to make their decisions, because they need more time to trust that this business is really going to follow through with what they say they are. Right. And they're not just pumping stuff out through AI. And like you said, like putting content out there, we do content for some clients, and amongst the other things. And I'm always like, stop. I talk to AI. I'm like, stop. You sound like just like every other person out there. So we work really hard to make sure that the client's voice is heard. Same thing with ours. It's a good guide and support, but you never want to lean on it 100%, because then you are going to sound like everyone else, and people are just going to scroll on by your content. Even with book publishing, I'm hearing from clients that with book publishing, they're being able to tell now there's bots out there that actually scan the content and will flag you if it's AI generated. So, now the AI is telling on the AI.
Yes, yes, yes.
Kind of, it's a very interesting. So Lori, I want to talk a little bit about your growth and evolution. As you said, you've been in business a long time, and congratulations on that. So I'd love to know from you, how are you getting in front of your businesses? How are they finding you, visibility wise, marketing wise? What are you doing? Because you're obviously doing something that's been working. So what's been the ways that you're navigating that and keeping in mind?
Yes, and I think, and it's changed, of course, from what it used to be. I used to be out there networking. We were talking about networking. I belonged back in the day. I belonged to a lot of different groups. I was a member of, and I am certified as a woman-owned business. So I do a lot of business, not just with women, but I do work with a lot of women. And I would go to conferences and around the country and even in other countries and meet people. And that was the connection. That was how I did it. And I think that now it's changed, of course, although people are coming back together in person again. But I think that the podcast, I was telling you, I'm getting an invitation daily to be on a podcast as a guest. And I think that's one of the ways I'm using it, is to get out there, is to be speaking or to speak again in live event. So that's one of the ways we're creating. I said we're moving to a new platform. I've got people now who are putting together marketing stuff for us. That's not my forte, marketing.
Yeah.
Talking is, but not marketing. So, and I think that's going to be absolutely critical. And I understand it. I don't personally have to do it all, because we can't. I think AI is going to be a big help as we start doing that. But like you said, it still has to be authentic, and the words have to be ours. So yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah. And as much as you train it, it's fantastic. It will learn more about you, but it'll still never replace you. So you still
Right.
can't rely on it 100%, because it takes that emotion out of it. And I've played with it, and I'm like, okay, give me more emotion, give me more that, and it struggles, which it should, right? It should, because it's like I said, it's not you. It doesn't have the heart. So, what have been some of your biggest challenges over the years? You don't have to give me a ton, just maybe one or two. And how did you
Technology.
technology?
Technology.
There.
So I mean, I had websites back before almost anybody did back in the 90s. Okay. And then once we did the assessment, we put it online immediately. And that has been a black hole. It's been the assessment itself. We used one of the top methodologists. Those are people who create assessments in the country to create the assessment. It's valid and reliable. That's why I can take it into business. But we put it online immediately, and that has been so interesting. It's been reprogrammed, not changed, but reprogrammed on a different platform 5 times. That is not cheap.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And so now it's stable, and it was always sort of stable, but nothing in
Oh, yeah.
technology is really stable. As we know, Zoom goes in and out and everything else. So I would say that's been one of the biggest challenges. And I have a person who has been with me this whole time who takes care of all my technology. But I think that, yeah, that's been one of the biggest challenges for me.
Yeah. So let's come to present. If I could give you a magic wand and you can wave it over one challenge or issue you're having right now, and you can go poof, take it away, what would that be and why?
Marketing, as I said, not my forte, but I want to get out to the world, and it's time, it's time to do that. And so, and I think globally, and I believe our world needs to understand people and passion and purpose. And so I think the time is now more than ever.
And you brought in a team, you said. So you have a team that's handling that for you now,
Um,
or someone.
I have a couple of people, yeah.
So
I
you're
have
working your
people.
way through that.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And that's not to say that, more people aren't going to come forward. But right now, yeah, like I said, as we move to this new platform, I think that's going to be very helpful. And
So if we could bring you back in a year and revisit this conversation, Lori, what does success look like for you? What are your big goals for next year, for the next 12 months?
for the next 12 months, I would say really finishing some of the apps that are in process right now. We call them tools to help people. And there's a couple that are in process that should come out in the next couple of months. And I would like, so in a year, my goal is to be in working with a lot more companies. And we also have an authorized facilitator training program where we train other facilitators or consultants to use our tools and our products. And so I would like to have several more facilitators that are trained that will take it out. Then it's not just about me doing it. And we do have facilitators now, but I would want to bring more on. We're having actually a facilitator training in July. And so my goal is to get several more facilitators out, because then they're bringing it to all of their people. So it's
Right.
not all on me.
Absolutely. So how can people connect with you, Lori? The people that are listening going, I want to learn more about the core assessment. You mentioned your career app, which I have another question once you share how people can find you, because I'm intrigued by both all the things that you have going on and coming up with the two apps. But can you share with people how they can find you and connect with you? Let's start there.
Go to corepassion.com, and you'll see first thing is one of our new taglines is we solve the people puzzle. And you'll see the assessment is there, and a lot of the new products are coming up in the website. So that's probably the best way. I mean, I'm on LinkedIn, and I've started a podcast called Solving the People Puzzle, and I've just started that. So that's on YouTube, and I've got But I think the best place is to go to corepassion.com.
Go to corepassion.com. You can find everything that Lori just shared with you there. I'm sure social media links are there as well. Check out the podcast, the Nope, Solving the People Puzzle podcast, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And that's on YouTube. But go to corepassion.com, start there, learn more, make sure that you connect with Lori. She's pretty amazing, as you've heard her today, and super helpful. She'd love to connect with you. Let her know that we sent you, that you found her through us. We'd love that. So she can go, oh, okay, great. She knows exactly who she's talking to. What else can I share with you? The links for also, if you're driving, no worries. We have all of her links, her bio, everything you can learn about Lori is also in our show notes. So you can go there as well, but easy peasy, corepassion.com. Lori, a question I have for you is regarding your career. Was it Career Clarity app or your career? It was called something you shared. You can share it again.
Yeah, it's called Career Seeker.
Career Seeker.
Career Seeker.
I'm curious about that, and I'm excited for that to come out. Is it helpful? I'm a mom of 2 teenagers. Is it helpful for teenagers to take this? Would it be like, because, it's really scary with them moving on into the future and them not knowing what they should be leaning into. Is their passion that they want to lean into a viable way of making a living and moving forward in life? Because with AI, there's so much that's shifting and changing. And 4 years, my daughter will graduate college in 5 years because she's got high school next year, senior year. So in 5 years, so much can change. So as soon as you said that, I'm like, oh, can my 15 and 17-year-old take it?
They can certainly take the assessment. And the Career Seeker, the unique thing about Career Seeker is we actually had this developed for the phone back in, I think, 2016. And it was through Apple and Android, and that was just a pain in the butt. So we've enriched it now, and now it'll be online as an app. So you take the assessment, and then we have another thing called My Map, My Authentic Profile, which looks at both your core passion codes and your destiny and your heart's desire and your values and your feelings. And you take a little assessment for that. Then that's what you use in the Career Seeker. And when we look at career, we're looking at not just, okay, do you want to be an accountant? Okay, you can be an accountant, but where the environment you're in makes a totally big difference. Are you working for the government? Are you working for a big company? Or you have your own company? Are you working for a nonprofit? You're still an accountant, but you're going to have very different experiences. And so we look at it from a place of the whole picture about picking a career. And then you answer these different questions and rate it. And then you come out with a score and you get a report that says, green light, hey, this would be great for you. Go and do some research and look at this. Or a yellow light, maybe not. Red light, this doesn't match you at all. So instead of going out and doing it or going to school for this and then realizing, oh, that's not what I thought it was going to be. I don't really want to do that, after you've paid all the money for college. So it helps, and you can do it several times. And I think it'll be good for you. Get it for like 90 days, and you can keep putting different ones in there and try it out. See, does this match who I believe that I am? And then you can go do the research. Well, what do I have to do if I want to go down that path? That's, another piece of it. But I'm excited about it. And I think that it'll be very helpful for young people. I mean, I talk to people who are in their 20s, finish college, have a job, a really good job, looks like they have, have things figured out. They're not happy, and they're confused about what to do. So I think it's going to be really helpful for people. So yes, your kids could do that.
Yeah, I'm very excited
I'll
about
let you know when it's live.
I was going to say, please put me on your wait list or put me on your list to contact and let us know when it's live.
Well,
and for those of you listening whether if you're a leader or a CEO founder, definitely reach out to Lori, learn more about how she can support you and your teams. And also, if you're parents, make sure that you stay connected with her for the upcoming apps that are coming out, because they can take the core passion assessment now, right?
Yes.
So go to corepassion.com to learn more about that, and have your kids do it. If they're teenagers and you're in the similar situation that I am, and we're looking at, okay, what's the next step for colleges? Taking the state exams and all of that, make sure you're setting them up for success, because we hear the stories of too many kids coming out of college and now they don't know what to do next. So this one, they're learning that what they thought they were going to be happy doing, they're miserable. Or two, they're getting a degree and then they're not able to find something to support that degree. So this is fantastic, and you can tell I'm super excited about it. So not only core passion assessment, which is fantastic for your teams, but also your teens and your teams and your teens. Look at that.
Oh, I like that. That's good.
And then also these new apps that are coming out. So Lori, thank you so much for your time today. This has been such a pleasure for me. I've learned a lot. I'm excited I'm on the edge of my seat waiting for this new app to come out. And I want my kids to take the core passion assessment along with myself, because who knows, I'm sure I'll get some ahas as well. And is there anything that you would like to add or share that I didn't ask you or we didn't get to talk about today?
Oh, I think we talked about a lot of things.
Nailed it.
You nailed it. You did. Yes. No, I think
good. I'm always happy when my guests are happy. So, well, thank you, Lori, so much for being here. Thank you all for listening to Lori and I today. Please go to corepassion.com. Go reach out and connect and follow with Lori. Go have a conversation with her. Go take that core passion assessment and keep it on your calendar to check back for the apps that are coming in the near future. Lori, thank you again.
Well, thank you for having me as a guest. This was fun.
And I'm so glad. Yeah, it's been fun and educational and very enlightening. So thank you for this conversation. And again, thank you all for listening to us today on the Business Growth Spotlight. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.